Hey guys, it's me, Anaïs, and today I'm going to be telling you about The Writer's Journey, Mythic Structure for Writers by Christopher Vogler. So I am a big fan of Joseph Campbell. I have read all of his books because they are about archetypes and myths, like the hero's journey, and it talks about how a lot of stories have this core movement to them with archetypes, people that everybody can relate to. And these are the stories that touch us and stay with us forever, across centuries. And if you think of things like the Odyssey, how old is that story? And we can still look at it and find things that we are inspired by it, we're moved by it, and we relate to it. And so anyway, I really love Joseph Campbell. This is a writer who is using Joseph Campbell's framework from The Hero's Journey and putting it into an easy to understand guide for writers, novelists, screenplays, just plays, operas, telling you how you can use those archetypes and myths and weave them into your story, even modern stories. They use examples like Star Wars, The Wizard of Oz, to illustrate the different parts of the journey that you can take your characters on. For me, I found that it was fascinating because I could see in some of my stories how I already applied these archetypes. And I think that's just because people, no matter how much we like to divide into little groups and say, I'm not like you, we are all so similar. If you look at the world myths, the creation myths, the hero myths, they all have so many things in common that it's foolish not to look at that and see how we can learn from them and grow from them and use it in our writing to impact the most amount of people. So one of the great things for me that I like, they have this book divided into different sections. So, like the first thing, the ordinary world, where your character begins in the story. Everything's kind of normal, and then they get a call to adventure. What is that call? It can be something from, if it's a romance novel, they meet that person, and then they are like, no. There's always a refusal, which I find fascinating. And they use examples from movies, westerns, all kinds of things to show in each really successful piece of art this happens, and I'm fascinated by it. I love that they show all of that stuff. I just think that it's invaluable if you want to have a really tight story. I mean, obviously you don't need that, and there's not a lot of writing tips in general that I follow, because I think that you'll make yourself bat crazy if you start thinking about all of the different writing tips that are out there, especially since so many of them contradict with each other. The reason why I like this one is it doesn't tell you what your call has to be. It doesn't tell you what your adventure is or what your dark point is. It just tells you that if you put your plot like this, and these are good points for these things to happen, play with them, play with the archetypes. This person, it doesn't have to be a hero the entire time. People are not the same all the time, and I can't stress that enough. I am so over having a villain just be a villain. Everybody is the hero of their own story. Everybody has reasons for doing what they do. Even if they're horrible things, they have reasons for them. Are their reasons ever good enough for what they do? No, usually not. But the fact is they have reasons, and to them, they're doing the right thing. So I think that it's a fascinating thing to think about. when you're writing a book, every single character that you put down is a hero of their own story. So what's happening from their point of the view, when the hero is up, then that's a low point for your villain, and vice versa. I think that it's just one of those books that I can go back to read again and again, because I'll get more little nuances out of it. And I might not always follow that structure, but I think it's a fascinating idea. And the idea of archetypes fascinate me. And I love myths. I love all of that stuff, gods, goddesses, which it touches on, but it's more about the structure of your novel. They even have kind of drawings. I'm trying to find the drawings in here, but yeah, so here we go. Right here, there is a drawing that shows you how you can structure your story, how you can, where you would meet your mentor, where you're going to be tested and meet your friends. Very interesting stuff, at least if you're a writer. Even if you're not, maybe there's a lot of people who are interested in Joseph Campbell. So it's taking his ideas and putting them together for a writer to think about. So anyway, I really love this book. I'll probably reread it so many times. It's just interesting to think about. So I'm going to finish my tea. I hope that you have tea too, or cocoa or coffee, whatever it is, and I'll talk to you next time. Goodbye.